Welcome to this tiny little course where you can learn how to use Airtable correctly. In this mini course, we will be showing you how you can use trigger points, linked records, interface design, extensions, field types, and formulas. What we're going to be showing in this video is how to use a formula, how to set it all up in Airtable, and how you can get the most out of using Airtable. So how you convert your Airtable data to be more efficient. Without further ado, I'm going to hand you over to David, who's going to show you step by step what you can do with formulas within Airtable.
So thank you, Alex. Yeah, we're just going to go over some of the formulas inside of Airtable, just so you can get a bit more understanding of how you can manipulate your data inside of the Airtable interface. So if you're not familiar, this is Airtable, this is their homepage, and I'm just going to take you over to a base that I've already built out on a different browser here. So it's just a simple one. It's an extension of the previous build that we've done in the series. So we went over web examples, but for this build, we're going to go over formulas. So I just want to run through everything. I've just put our names. So I've got David Smith. I've put David Owen Smith just as a name. So this category here is just a single line of text. So as you can see here, we've just got single line text. Okay. So then what the first example I want to give you is we just want to manipulate the first line of text inside of this category here. So if I click on edit field, I will just give you a little zoom in. So we've got left, and we just want to take the initial from the name. So simple formula is left, and then we've got comma, a bracket, name, and then just one. So you can see here it gives us an example. And if we go down to Alex, it's there. And if we do Michael Jordan, it gives us the initial M. If we wanted to get the first two letters, we would just specify that we want 2. Or if we wanted first 3, we would specify 3. And you can just see here that it's got Mick, it's got Ale, and then Dav. So I'll return it just to 1, so that you can see that we have initial. Okay. So the next one is, what if we were to do the first 5 letters? So it's just an extension of what I just showed you there. And again, if I zoom in, you will see that we've got left and then name equals 5. So it works perfectly on David. Also works really well on Alex. But you can see here with Michael Jordan having a longer string in his name, it only returns the first 5. Same with the right here. So what we've got is right name, and it counts from the right letter. So in my surname, we're talking Smith, so it'd be MS, and that counts back, so it returns Smith. And you'll see here it starts with Jordan, so NADRO. So not really great for parsing names apart, but we also have this function here, which is called mid. So if I show you how this is structured, we've got mid, and then we're filtering by the name. So this is the name of the field, as you can see here. And we're taking the first one, then we're finding the space, so the space between the words, and then we're doing name -1, and that returns David. So much neater if you're parsing names. So you've got David, Alex, Michael, first names. I'm using the same function, but it's being manipulated in a slightly different way. So if I just zoom here, you can see we've got mid, and then it's name, find the space, then we've got name +1, then we've got the length of the name minus the find name, and then it returns the last name. A little bit complicated, but it's ideal for parsing the latter half after the first name. Next formula I want to show you is length. So what we have here, we have length, and then we've got a length, and then it's the length of the formula of the field name. So in the case of my name, it's 11. So we've got first name is 5 letters, then we have a space making it 6, and then 5 more letters making 11. Scroll down to Michael Jordan, and he's got 14. So Michael has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with the space, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, nice. So there's no particular formula in this field here. So what we have is just a single select, and I've pre-filled this with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 9. The reason I've done this is we have the sum formula in the next field. So you can see here, we've got sum equals length, then we're adding number to it. So at the moment there's no numbers, there's no calculation. You'll see this length mimics the sum here. However, if I add 3 here, see how this changed to 14. If we change this one to 9 or 8, see how this is 25. If I change it back to 5, then it goes to 22. So it's a live updated formula. We can put 1 here, we can put 5 here. So it just adds this. So this number here, the number of letters, plus this number here, and then we can add to it. Okay, final one is if, not final, but final when it comes to string, text. And what we're going to do is called concatenate. So there are 2 ways you can do this. I'll show you the first option. So we have concatenate, and then we've got mid, which was our field from, just zoom out again. If we zoom across to here, so mid, what we're doing is mid first name. Then we're adding a space. So we put a comma, then quotation marks with a space between, and then we're taking mid and last name. So that will concatenate first name and last name and recreate the same field as there, David. I'm just going to quickly show you live another way to do this. So we'll insert a field right, and we'll do formula. And what we're going to do is we can simply put, if I put mid, first name, and then I believe it's this, and so we're escaping the name calling, and then we do mid again, last name, then there we are, just a small error. So what I need to do is put a space in between. So you can see that concatenate does it one way, and the other way you can do it is you can just declare the field name that you want to attach. Then to escape that, you need to put ampersand, the and symbol, then the quotation marks with a space between. Then we're going back to and quoting the field name. Okay. So this next field here we have is not is just a date field, so it's not a formula again. You can see that the field type is FX for when it's formula, and here we've got the little calendar symbol. Just zoom in, see how we've got a calendar symbol, it says date. If we hover over, this says formula, and then here we've got single select, just to help you identify. Here we have a single select, formula. Okay, so if you select a date here, let's say we just change the date. Okay, so we get a picker. Let's go back 1 week ago to the 22nd of August. Now natively, the options for selecting or displaying a date are ISO, European, US, friendly, or local. Okay. The problem is if you're British like I am, we say the day first, and then the month, and then the year. So natively, it doesn't look great for me when I read this. It can cause confusion, especially if you do. Let's just choose this one here. So US. This will confuse some people, so you won't understand what the date is. However, there is a nice formula inside of Airtable called date time format. So basically, we can take the date from this field here, and then we put a comma. And then within brackets, we can put the date. So we specify it with a capital D, space, MMM. So if I was to put another M in there, it would actually spell out, instead of it being Aug, it would be August. And then we put year. So you'll see, oh, I've done something. Sorry, I've deleted a... let's cancel. And let's edit that one more time. Perhaps with another M is not possible. There we are. So yeah, you can spell out the month if need be. So you've got 22nd, And let's just improve on this a bit more. We can actually put another D. Don't need that. Okay, and if you want to abbreviate the year, just to have the last two letters, last two numbers, save any confusion, 2024. Okay. Hopefully you find that useful. This formula here, so again, I'm going to hover over. We've got date-time difference, and the formula is date-time difference, and then within the brackets, we've got the date minus today. So this is declaring today. If you see, this is a declaration. And then we're specifying by the number of days. So as you remember, I changed the date to 1 week ago. So the response is, the difference is 7 days. So minus 7 days ago. Then we've got this one here on July 24, which is minus 59 days ago. We've got this date here in the future. So 23rd of October 2024 is 55 days from now. So you could have an automation running in the background that when the time date difference becomes 0, you can trigger an automation. And then we put the 30th of August 2023, so exactly 1 year plus 1 day ago, is 365 days ago. So that's the time date formulas I wanted to show you. Our final one now is we're going to look at I haven't labeled this one, an error. So we've got concatenate and it with an if statement. So what we're doing is we're concatenating customer equals colon. Then we're going to put the name, and if they are subscribed, we're going to put subscribed, and if they are not, if it's blank, then we will put not subscribed. So let me stretch this out here. So you can see David Smith is subscribed, David Smith is not subscribed. Okay, so let's change this one to subscribed. Let's remove this one as unsubscribed. And you can see that these change. So let's subscribe Michael Jordan. Okay, very good. We've also got an if statement here. So this is related to the same field. So if subscribed equals subscribed, then we print done with a confetti. If not, we're just saying keep going. Okay, so if I choose a different version, David Owen Smith is done. And who's not subscribed? It's David Smith at the top. So he's going to keep going. Okay, and then the final one is switch. So if you perhaps have something and you want to code it a bit more or make it a bit more, if it's customer facing, perhaps you want to make it a bit more discreet. Instead of saying you're a high priority case, you can just put A, B, C, or have your own little coding system. And if you change the status, then the switch will change. So let's have a quick look at how this one functions. So the switch, you can make a call and then you choose in category, which was this field here. If it equals A, then we will print high priority. If it equals B, in quotation marks, then we will put medium priority. And if it equals C, we'll put low priority, and anything else will just become unknown. So yeah, hopefully that was all useful information for you. It's part of the series that we're building out for Airtable to help people understand how to utilize it a bit better. On this occasion, we're not tagging it into make.com, but if you watch our previous video available in the top right corner here, you'll be able to view lots of triggers that we've sent over to make.com, which you could utilize alongside all of the scenarios I've just shown you here. So I'm going to hand you back to Alex, and thank you. I'll see you on the next video.
Thanks a lot for that detailed explanation, David. If you're into AI and AI automation, just like we are, and you're looking for like-minded people, or you're looking for somewhere to get started with using tools like make.com, Airtable, ChatGPT, Perplexity, anything to do with large language models, head over to our school community. The link should be up or down here somewhere below. In our community, we've got loads of like-minded people, and this is where we can also show you in detail multiple things you could do with it. So if you want to learn more about Airtable, like trigger points, linked records, interface design, extractions, field types, formulas, and many other things, Check out our YouTube channel because we've got a little course on how to use the basics of Airtable. Also consider having a look at our school community because in there we have very, very comprehensive tutorials and JSON files. So you can just download your file, upload it straight to make.com, and your whole scenario will work. We explain in all our videos in full detail how to use, how to connect everything on, how to use it, and how you can edit it so you can use it for yourself or maybe even sell to your clients. So if you've found any value in this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell icon because next time you'll be notified as soon as we post a new video. And until next time, bye-bye.